Randy Kessler is a family law attorney, and let me ask you, I mean, he signed the birth certificate, right? So is he financially responsible forever, or can he reverse that?
Well, you know, there are two ways he could reverse it. It depends on which state you're in. In that state, it's very hard. You have to show that he really didn't know, and he has to act quickly. He didn't act quickly enough in that state. But what if the real dad shows up and says, I want to be on the hook? Then the state may let him off the hook because you want to protect the child. So as long as there's somebody paying the bill, he may be able to get off the hook if the real dad steps forward or can be found.
Interesting. What if he wouldn't have signed the birth certificate? Would he be off the hook?
He would not be on the hook unless he was married to her and they got a divorce and he didn't bring it up then, or if he filed for visitation rights. But if he did nothing, she'd have to come after him. And if she came after him successfully, he would be on the hook, unless he was in a state like Georgia or other states that say, if you didn't know and you take a DNA test, you can get off the hook. But that's not most states.
All right, let me ask you, I mean, this woman, looks like wasn't truthful. So can these women who are not honest with these men be held responsible?
It is a very hard thing to do. We've had it happen once or twice where the judge has gotten mad at the mom and made the mom pay back the money. But it's very hard because the money is already gone being spent on the children. First thing we do in America is we protect children. So we don't want to disrupt the child's life. But after we protect the child, we've got to figure out a way to protect these guys that are duped dads. I mean, there's a whole class of people out there. It happens a lot more than people would think.
And Randy, you know that, I mean, it's a very emotional time when you find out you're going to have a child. So you want to make sure, yeah, that is my baby. So you run down there and you sign that. We don't think about DNA tests, and we get into a lot of trouble because of that.
Not only that, that's the last time that the mom is going to say, by the way, now that you're holding your new baby, I got some news for you. I mean, they're just not going to come clean then. And if you're getting a divorce, they're not going to say now because it admits adultery. So when does the mom tell the truth if she doesn't do it right at the beginning? It's a very interesting issue.
And it's a tough call because what kind of bond did this dad have with this child? Spending a year with that baby, clearly he feels something for this kid. There's no question about that.
I'm in a tough position all the time when people say, I tell people you should get a DNA test, and they say, I don't care.
Right.
Even if it's not my child, that's my child. I'm raising that child. That's been my child. I don't want to know about any DNA tests.
Yeah, I mean, apparently in this situation, he's not talking to the woman or seeing the child. But
that's common.
It is common.
That's common. As soon as a man raises the issue of, it may not be my child, often the mom says, well, if you're going to do that, you're severing that financial relationship, I'm going to sever the emotional relationship. And it may be just a gut reaction. It's not best for the child, but we see it often.
You know, I mean, as a male, let me just ask you guys as males, okay? I mean, how can you just, I don't know, you find out it's not yours, but you were with this woman and you thought it was yours. Isn't there something in your mind thinking, I'm paying for this kid. I want to sort of be in his life?
Well, I think for a lot of people, when they get into that situation, the first thing that happens is people around them start telling them the kid doesn't look like them. And then they have to deal with all of that. And then, you know, if you've been raising a child, this guy's been raising this kid, and $800 a month, and it's not his kid, it's a lot of different things that are going into his emotional status, you know, how he feels about it. And he's bitter towards a woman because he thinks he was duped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot going on.
And it's not just guys. It's the second wives. What about the new woman who's been waiting to have a child until they could afford to pay for a child, and he's been spending all this money on a child that wasn't even his. So they get involved and they get upset. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of emotions going left and right. And, you know, God help any of us if we're in that situation. Who knows how we would react. But I could understand people saying, I want to be with that child, even though it's not mine. And I could see a guy saying, I'm not paying a penny. It is a gender-specific thing.
I'd love to know what the biological dad thinks and if he knows. And there's a whole nother, issue right there.